VG.
Hey, BT, I don't think these niggas hearing me, bro. Yeah. I don't even gotta do this, raps. Hey, I don't gotta rap, yeah. I don't gotta rap. I could just stick to the trap, cause I know that I'ma be rich. We on the map, I send no work in this raps. They gon' pull up with them sticks, pop up at your party, sippin' Bacardi. You make a move and we shoot us a flick. Don't get no warning, we go retarded. No, we can't leave till we empty the clip. Poppin' these out of raw, got me up for some days. You know I ain't missing no plays, now I got on watching. Ducking and dodging a raid, but it's all a part of the game. These niggas be plotting, try and throw dirt on my name. They think we ain't talking them things. You reach for my pockets, hope they remember your name. Bet that we bust at your brain. I don't gotta rap, I could just stick to the trap, cause I know that I'ma be rich. We on the map, I send no work in this raps. They gon' pull up with them sticks, pop up at your party, sippin' Bacardi. You make a move and we shoot us a flick. Don't get no warning, we go retarded. No, we can't leave till we empty the clip. Don't gotta deal, but they know my name, they know what it is with me. I rock with the mob, they hate on the gang. These niggas, they envy me.
Hello, and welcome back to the Georgia Tech Dynasty, ladies and gentlemen. So glad to be back with you. My name's Johnny's. Be sure to like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell for the post notifications. Wrapping up Season 1 of the Georgia Tech Dynasty, just took down UTEP in our bowl game to finish the season 12-2. If you missed it, go check it out. It was a lit Orange Bowl game, very close, very tightly contested. Also had a really good ACC championship game as well, so check out both of those videos. Hit up the Georgia Tech Dynasty playlist if you haven't already, and the Oregon State Dynasty playlist. That's where this whole thing really started, really disseminated. I will tag that right here. Welcome back if you're a returning member, and welcome to the channel if you're new. Consider hitting the subscribe button. Hit me up on TikTok and all my social medias down in the description box below. Really fun season. I got a video coming out soon with the top plays of year 1 of our time down in Atlanta, but here we are getting ready for year 2. We're going to start with the off-season, which we'll cover today, and the next episode will be the preseason. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So we got some new record leaders, at least one. If you watched the videos, you already knew this because he set this record, and I believe what was the ACC championship game. Matt Slater, new school record holder for passing yards in a single season, about 3,600. Hell of a year, goes all the way back to 2001. And Georgia Tech, obviously a school that predominantly ran the triple option for years and years and years. So not exactly surprised to see my first quarterback set the new record because they're used to that triple option system. We didn't run that, obviously. But for Matt Slater, that's awesome. A guy that moved up from 90 overall, wasn't that heralded when we came into Georgia Tech for our first year. It was kind of just, hey, guess what? He's your quarterback. And, we did what we could with him. We developed it, and hopefully he turns into an NFL draft pick later on in this episode. All right, before we move on to the end of the season, just want to look at a couple of things here. So we are now a 2-star prestige school. I believe we were 1-star last year. So that's awesome. 12-2 season. We finished number 9 in the final coaches poll rankings. We were 13 last week, so that's awesome. Boston College also up there. They're ahead of us for whatever reason. Oregon State finished 2nd in the nation despite winning the national title, I think. Did they win the title game? Yeah, they did. Oregon State won the national title. That's now what? 7 in a row, I believe. We won the last 5 or 6 with them. Again, check out the Oregon State Dynasty if you missed it already. That's our former team. They beat Minnesota in the championship game to claim that throne, so good for them. They finished number 2. Seems like there's no drop-off there. We also beat UTEP. They finished 10-3. For some reason, we're behind them. Maybe there's a discrepancy in the media. There we go. Okay, so media poll has us at 5. I don't know why, but Minnesota's still number 1 despite losing to Oregon State in the title game. So yeah, I mean, look at that. We go from like being ranked in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I forget what it was, way down there preseason to 5, between 5 and 10, at least top 10 in the final polls. So that's awesome. Okay, quick look at All-Americans. Our former quarterback, Herod Copeland, first-team All-American QB. We have 1, make it 2, make it 3 first-team All-Americans here in year 1. Phil Jackson, junior linebacker, probably NFL draft bound for linebacker, obviously. Paul Wilson, us, that's who we played with on defense. Our starting free safety gets on there at safety. And then Ryan Wood, our starting cornerback, our best cornerback, wins returner of the year. He also gets first-team All-American for returner. How about second team? 1 second-team member, Noah Miller. At defensive end, he had a really good season, almost double-digit sacks. Did he have double-digit sacks? Actually, we should check that out. He'll probably come back for another year. We'll see, though. He had 9 sacks, by the way. But his best year yet, only really his second season of action on the D-line in the trenches there. And then Michael Little gets the nod at strong safety. So our free safety and strong safety both earn All-American honors. And it just continues. Sean Brown, no surprise here. True freshman, All-American. Hell of a season. He had over 1,000 yards receiving in his first year. 15 per catch, 7 yards. He was unbelievable. He's a building block for us going forward for at least one more year. And he is our only freshman All-American. How about All-Conference? We're so used to going to the Pac-12 because that's what we were before with Oregon State. Here we go. Chris Grant, first team All-ACC running back. Look at his stats real quick. He had over 1,400 yards, 100 per game, 15 touchdowns. His best season yet at Georgia Tech. Our starting right guard gets on there, Thomas Perkins. Right tackle's on there as well, Mike Lucas. The right side of our line was really good all season, so congrats to those two guys. Lucas on his way out, graduating. Noah Miller's on there, no surprise with that one. Clayton Perkins and Phil Jackson. Perkins, first team All-ACC, didn't get All-American, but he had a great season too. 17 TFLs, 4 sacks, 51 tackles, and a pick. And he might be going to the draft too. We'll see about that one. Ryan Wood on there, this time at cornerback. And he might be NFL draft bound too. Had a sack, 2 picks, 7 breakups, probably a lot of drop picks. He had a defensive touchdown, a forced fumble. On top of that, 29 tackles. Wilson and Little on there, along with our kicker, Matt Harris, who was 16 for 16 and hit one for 47 yards away. So that's great. And our punter's on there too. Dustin Bell, that's a heck of a name. Only 9 punts this year, which is good. 51 per punt. That's a booming leg. He was incredible. Second team, Sean Brown's on there. May have been a snub for first, to be honest with you. Anybody else? No. And that does it for All-American and All-Conference teams. Whole lot of Georgia Tech representation on there. We'd love to see it. Okay, let's take a look at season stats for players and the team overall. So Matt Slater already talked about it. 3,500 yards passing this year, 29 touchdowns, 20 picks. Struggled with consistency at times, but overall, really streaky player. When he was on, he was on. Chris Grant, leader in rushing. He'll be back next year, I assume at least. 1,400 yards, about 5 per carry, 15 touchdowns, 100 per game, 432 after contact, which is really impressive. I want to see him get more explosive runs, though. Only had 3 of 20-plus. Slater behind him, 363 with 9 touchdowns. Dante Simmons behind both of them. He's our backup running back. Really excited for this guy. I think we got a good 1-2 punch with Grant and Simmons. 277 yards on the ground last year, 5 per carry on 52 attempts, 2 touchdowns, 71 after contact, 1 of 20-plus. So he should be even better next season. Those are the big contributors on the ground. Receiving-wise, Sean Brown, our leader, 70 catches, over 1,000 yards, 15 per catch, 7 touchdowns, 75 per game, 485 after catch, which is very elite. 8 drops. We'll work on that next year. He'll get it with time. Behind him was Brandon Petty, a guy who played in his final year of college football this year. 59 catches, 735 yards, 12 per catch, 3 touchdowns, 339 after the catch, which is very impressive. No drops, too, so good for Petty. Maybe he'll get drafted. We'll see about that one. Thomas Nelson, 51 receptions, 869 yards, 17 per catch, our team leader in that category. 6 touchdowns, 289 after the catch, 1 drop. I'm really excited for him, too. He could be an NFL receiver after one more year, I think. We got a nice 1-2 combo with Nelson and Brown. We need that next guy to step up next year. Grant did a little bit in the receiving game, 136 with 3 touchdowns. He's not a big receiver for us, but he contributed. Next up, Carl Harrison, our starting tight end. I was pretty happy with how we did. We could have gotten him the ball a little bit more, I think, but 28 catches, 381 yards, 13.6 per catch, 5 touchdowns. Nothing to sneeze at. 113 after the catch. And, he had a couple red zone touchdowns. He's a big red zone threat, so good for him. Jesse Livingston might be that next receiver up. 5'10", 196, 16 catches for 201. 2 touchdowns this year. Kind of a reserve role, but he'll step into a bigger role, I assume, next year. Dante Simmons chipped in with 91 yards and a touchdown. Joey Hill, redshirt junior receiver. Well, receiving tight end, I should say. He's back next year. 8 catches for 112 yards. 2 touchdowns. Really like the way he plays. 34 after the catch, no drop. So he should take over as tight end 1. More of a receiving threat than a blocking threat, but we're going to find a use for him in any capacity, in any way. Other option is Andy Robinson here. He's 6'0", 174. He had 1 catch last year. Okay, on the defensive side, Paul Wilson, our leader, with 95 tackles. Phil Jackson behind him with 85, and then Michael Little there with 73. TFL leaders, we had Perkins with 17 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Miller had 16 right behind him. Wilson had 14, Jackson and Flanagan both with 11. Then David Joseph, chipped in with 9 as well. Really like the way he played to close the year. He could be a draft pick potentially too. Sacks, leader was Noah Miller, no surprise there. Might have one more year with us. Perkins had 4. Gary Odom, defensive tackle, not a name that's very popular. He had 7 tackles, 2 sacks. He's back next year at D tackle. Fuller had 1. He's back next year. Wood had 1. Flanagan and Wilson each had them as well. Interceptions-wise, a little disappointing, but Ryan Wood and Will Smith, our starting corners, had 2 apiece. Both could be back next year again. Thomas had 1, Matt Thomas, who should have a bit of a bigger role next year, maybe in the nickel back capacity or whatnot. Wilson had 1, Little had 1, and Perkins had 1 as well. Deflections-wise, see, these are the numbers I expected for the interceptions. 7 for Wood, 6 for Smith, 6 for Wilson, 4 for Thomas. Forced fumbles, 2 for Paul Wilson, he led us there. Miller had 2 fumble recoveries. And 2 defensive touchdowns, 1 for Wood, 1 for Phil Jackson. Okay, quick peek at team stats. Our offense finished number 9 in the nation overall. Averaged 35-ish points per game. That ranks around the top 10. In terms of passing, we were top 5. Oregon State was number 1. Rushing, we were not great. Outside the top 10, outside the top 15, top 20. Where are we? Man, we were not great on the ground this year. Want to be better next season. We'll see how that goes. We're way down there. I don't even want to go keep looking. First downs, not a whole lot. But, around the top 20, so that's good enough there. Defensively, let's see. We struggled. We had our moments. We weren't great. I don't even see us on there. Let's see, though. Total defense. Outside the top 20, at least. Can we find us somewhere here? No, we weren't that bad. We weren't great, but we weren't that bad. Oh, boy. Where are we? There we are. Okay, so we're about, we're in the range of top 30 defense, top 40 defense. Not great, but, we'll try to work on that for next year. I already know we had, 0 picks on even looking at that. Conversion defense, let's see. That's conversion offense, I think, which we were good with. 56%. That's top 6, top 7. Red zone-wise, top 10. That's great. 50 touchdowns on 69 trips and 7 field goals. We want to cut out those turnovers and whatever happened the other times. Turnovers on downs, turnovers on, straight-up turnovers, whatever it may be. Defensive red zone attempts. Let's see. Defensively, I think we're pretty darn good. Yeah, I mean, we're, oh, wow, maybe we weren't that good. Yikes. All right, so we're top 40, top 50 red zone defense. We're going to work on that next year. I thought we were a lot better than we actually are on here, but that's something to work on for next year. Turnovers. Don't really care about penalties because those are just glitched in this game. Turnover differential. Not great. So another thing to work on next year, probably the worst thing that we had statistically speaking for this year. So let's look at team stats. For the most part, top 20, top 30, top 40. I think defense is where we want to improve next year, and then turnovers as well. All right, a couple updates here. We're advancing to the end of the season, whatever that might be. We won Coach of the Year, so that's awesome. I think we deserve it. We took a one-star school to the Orange Bowl and went 12-2 and won the ACC in 1 year. So, I mean, what can we say, We had a player win the Jet Award. That's the returner of the year. That was Ryan Wood. Won a bowl game, earned a BCS bowl bid, set school records for passing yards in a season and for passing touchdowns in a season. I think we tied that record. We won the conference championship. Had 3 first-team All-Americans, 2 second-teamers. And we finished ranked in the top 10. 11 first-team All-Conference players, 1 second-team All-Conference player, so 12 across what would be the 44 possible, I think, roughly, give or take. Had a freshman All-American. All right, here's a look at our coaching trajectory here. Let me move myself down to the bottom of the screen. So look at this. I mean, 8-5 in 2022, then 8-6, 2-10, 4-8, 3-9, and then 12-2. And our contract is through 2031. You can see on the bottom of the screen. Program tradition is now an A-. Target wins per year is 8. Man, we could bump that up for sure. 12-2 in year 1 at G-Tech. 220 and 60 overall as a head coach. A lot of those losses weren't even mine. We just inherited those when we were at UTEP. 17-1 in bowl games. Lone loss coming to Notre Dame in the national title back in Oregon State. Man, what a hell of a year. A+ coach prestige. I don't know what it is. Okay, as y'all can see, we got our assistant coaches out the door. They both left after a great year. Can't really blame them. They want a stepping stone to a new job. So, Jeff Brom is now our new OC, former head coach at Purdue in real life. I don't know where he came from last year. And then Albert Smith is our D coordinator. And I'll do some research on those two guys. Probably both really good coaches. I know Brom's a great coach, offensive-minded guy. And Smith looks pretty good. 26 out of 126 NCAA coaches. Points allowed per game, about 24. Third out of 14 in the ACC. So we'll take it. All right, players leaving. This is where it starts to get fun. So Ryan Wood wants to go to the draft. 89 overall junior cornerback, won returner of the year, projected 7th round. I think he can come back and have a better season and improve his draft grade. I think he comes back for one more year. Look, I mean, he had 2 picks and 7 deflections. I think he can up those numbers and at least up his pick numbers with one more year. Low possibility of getting injured as a corner, so we're going to try to get him back for one more season. Bam, he's coming back for another year. I mean, you can't turn down, wanting your college degree, you know what I mean? So he's back. I'm never going to force a player to come back if it doesn't make sense. Like, if he's a projected top 4-round pick and it makes sense, I'm going to let him go. But this one doesn't make sense. He's coming back. All right, so Wood is staying. We have a transfer who wants to go. Sam Franklin. Didn't play at all this year. Freshman, 80 speed, 86 excel. Good catching, good route running, good blocking. We need this guy. He's solid. 75 overall, we need this dude. Let's go to Memphis. Let's see if we can get him to come back. Okay, very low persuasion chance. We have Joey Hill back at tight end. And this guy. I think he's going to play in more than 9 games, so let's get him on that. And he's leaving. Sucks. He would have been really good for us, I think, in a couple of years, but he wants to go to Memphis, and, we tried everything we could. Playing in 9 games, that's pretty darn good promise. He's going to be the starting tight end in 2 years, but he wants to go. All right, so some good news, some not so good news. Paul Wilson wants to go to the draft, and I can't bring him back anyway, so he's going round 4. That's awesome. David Joseph also going round 4. Let's go, man. Good of a late developer. Good for him in his 5th year. Carl Harrison is going to the draft, of course, projected round 6. That's awesome. And Matt Slater projected round 7. So we could have potentially 4 NFL draft picks this year. So guys that got snubbed. Antoine Hall didn't play a whole lot. Our kicker, Matt Harris, got snubbed. That's a bit surprising, as is our punter getting snubbed. Our fullback, Brian Gutierrez, will try and make it in a camp. Brandon Petty, not projected to get drafted. Not a huge surprise to me. He could make it in a camp, though. Clayton Perkins, not projected to get drafted. He had a good season. He had 17 TFLs. He'll make a roster for sure. And then Mike Lucas, a guy who earned all ACC honors, he probably will find his way in a camp as well. So, here we go. Draft results. Paul Wilson goes in the 4th round. Our first NFL draft pick off the board at Georgia Tech. Good for him. David Joseph right behind in the 4th round. And he had a great 5th-year season to put him in this position. Look at his stats, man. We can't look at his stats, but he didn't really have a whole lot of production before his 5th year. And, he put in that work this year, worked his way up draft boards into the conversation. Carl Harrison goes in the 6th round at tight end, 6'6", 262. He's going to be in the league for a long time. And then Matt Slater, a record-setting quarterback, goes in the 7th round, 92 overall. Let's go. Big development for him as well. You know what this means? Guys like Phil Jackson, Chris Grant, Thomas Nelson even, they're all back for another season. That's money. Alright, we are closing things out with recruiting. Really nothing to do here. We have our entire class solidified. All we could really do is, get in on Calvin Johnson Jr., but we can't because we're locked out, so our class is pretty much over and done with. Here's a look at it. We'll go through real quick to close out the episode. Mike Butler's our hand-picked quarterback for this cycle. 6'3", 203, 3-star, number 18 QB. Also had offers from nobody, only us. So good for us, I guess. Dual threat, 75, 73 speed excel, 86, 78 throw power and throw accuracy. Excited about him. Moving on to running back, we're bringing in two this year. We got Matt Little, 5'10", 210, out of New Jersey, offered by us alone, but had looks from some good schools. 94 speed, 83 acceleration, 67 break tackle, 76 elusiveness, 76 juke move, so I like what he could be for sure. And then Corey Hawkins, underrated dude, 63 overall, offer from us and from Clemson, actually, interesting enough. 89 speed, 86 excel, 79 elusiveness, 78 juke move. Just a freak athlete. He's going to be a stud, underrated guy from Georgia, from Athens. Georgia didn't want him. We'll take him. We're going to beat Georgia with this guy. 6'0", 195. Wide receiver, we got two. Ken Bryant, 6'2", 208 out of Alabama. Number 62 wide receiver, 3-star. Offers from us and from Auburn. Not surprising because he's from Alabama. 93 speed, 87 excel. That's damn good. Pair that with 61 catching, 83 jumping, 66 spectacular catch, and 75 route running with 70 catching traffic. He's a stud. Love what he could be. And then Rob Woods, 6'2", 194, great athlete out of Tifton, Georgia, in-state guy, 3-star, offered by Tennessee and by us. 89 speed, 84 excel, 73 jumping, 72 catching, 71 route running. So more of a possession receiver, but you know what? We need those. Tight end, we got none. So this is going to be a bit of a issue for us. We got to bring in tight ends next year for sure, quickly. Offensive tackle, we got Tom Coach. We're going to go Coach. 6'7", 275, damn good size. Could be a left tackle. 3-star, number 11 tackle in this class. Offers from Cal and Michigan State. 85 strength. He's pretty athletic with 90 excel. 75 pass block, 82 run block, 83 impact block. So solid pickup there. One guard, Corey Marshall, 6'2", 308, good size. Number 21 guard out of Hinesville, Georgia, in-state recruit. Offered by Auburn, same deal, 91 excel, so he can pull, he's athletic. 80 strength, which is good. 81 pass block, 81 run block, so really solid. We got two centers, one could play guard, we can shift them around how we see fit. Travis McMillan, out of Georgia, 6'4", 298, good size, another in-state player, offered by us, obviously, and South Carolina. 82 excel, which is solid, 77 pass block, 76 run, 75 impact block, 80 strength, so he's good. Gonna need a year or two to get ready to go. And then Jesse James, 6'6", 338, so he can play guard for sure, out of Georgia. 90 excel, 77 pass block, 79 strength, 76 run block, 71 impact block, so he's really solid. Also offered by Georgia State and UCF. Defensively, we've got Ian Jackson, 6'5", 255, out of Goldenrod, Florida, number 53 DN. Also offered by Ole Miss. Solid speed, he's 72-80 there, 73 strength, 79 finesse move, 77 block shed, and pretty solid tackling. He's not ready to go. He's going to need a year to get ready. Anthony McKinney, a D-tackle, 6'4", 273, 3-star out of North Miami, Florida. Nice little get for us there out of the Sunshine State. Number 25 D-tackle, also offered by South Carolina. 65 speed, 78 strength, 73 power move, 71 finesse, 80 tackle, 73 hit power. So he's going to need time. He's going to put on some weight. We don't need him necessarily next year even anyway. So in the future, he'll be really good. At outside linebacker, we've got Elliot Garcia, 6', 248, under-recruited because he's only 6 feet tall. Out of Athens, Georgia, number 52 outside backer, offered by Memphis. 79 speed, 76 excel, that's really solid. 76 block shed, which is really important for linebacker, that's good. 69 power move, 75 tackle, and agility's low. So he's another developmental player, he'll get there. Middle linebacker, Marcus Cutler, 6'5", 249, great size, out of Florida. offered by Just Us. Really good speed, 83, 78, and middle linebacker is really darn good. Agility's not quite there. Coverage is pretty good, 67 man, 73 power move, 81 finesse, 76 block shed, 72 tackle, 73 head power. That's really good for a middle linebacker. Love what he could be. No corners this year. We brought in a lot last season. No safeties at all. Brought in a kicker from Dock Junction, Georgia, wherever that is. And he looks good, 81-64. I can work with that. We don't kick that much anyway. Jake Mayo, nice little name for sure. 3-star, number 7 punter in the cycle, offered by Pitt in Arkansas. 82 kick power, 67 accuracy. So solid top to bottom. We will see how this class shapes up in the final rankings. Let's see them. All right, so as y'all can see, our class finished ranked number 69 in the country, right behind Eastern Michigan, who stole Calvin Johnson Jr. from us, or whatever. Really front-loaded class. And there's a couple of added-on guys who we didn't even recruit, so don't even worry about those, who were added in there for whatever reason. But really solid. I mean, I know it's not great on paper. You know, probably one of the worst classes in the Power 5, but the dudes we have in the class are gems. They're studs. We're going to prove that year after year. We're a developmental program. It's Georgia Tech. We're not bringing in 4 or 5-star guys like it's nobody's business. So this is what it is. We love the class. We love who's in it, and we're rolling with it. All right, and this is where we will cut this episode of the Georgia Tech Dynasty. Thanks so much for watching. We got a lot to solve next episode. Position changes, training results, setting the schedule up, all that good stuff. But also, we oversigned our recruiting class pretty high, so we have to cut some players. That's coming up in the next episode as well. So keep it right here. Preseason action coming up next. Be sure to like the video, sub to the channel. Thanks so much again for watching, guys. Be back soon with the next episode as we get ready for year 2, Georgia Tech Dynasty. See you then.